What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Texas Auto Channel. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. So I took the supercharger off here for what we're doing today, just so you guys have access and can see what I'm doing with the mounts. So I've got these 75A innovative mounts here. They're solid engine mounts to keep the engine from going back and forth, because I don't know if you've seen in the dyno videos how the engine definitely was rocking. That also allows me to lose torque, so I could have had just a little bit more torque if the engine wasn't rocking. Also, it makes wheel hop, which I got on it from a dead stop, and it just hopped. The wheel was hopping the whole way down the road, and it was quite annoying. So this will help with that, and I do plan on going to the track, so that's why I got the 75A. The 60A is what most people like because there's not too much vibration. They are stiffer than the factory ones, but I still prefer these 75A. So I took the supercharger out so you guys can actually see down in here. I'll have the light and show you exactly what bolts to remove and how simple it actually is to change these mounts out. The rear one can be kind of difficult, but we will remove this upper strut brace and I'll show you all of that as well. But before we get started with that, I wanted to show you I did get some lower runners here from the salvage yard. It cost me $40 or $50. And I got 6 good shape injectors with them as well, because it was a low mileage wrecked Acura TL. It's pretty sad to see out there. But Budget Wrench Apart has it right now if anyone needs more parts. But I'm going to decap these injectors, get them flow tested and cleaned. And then these injectors will be going in, because right now these injectors are pretty much maxed out. Even only on 3 PSI, they're only 270cc injectors. So we need a little bit more injector. But it made 301 horsepower. With the stock injectors, which is absolutely awesome, and it's right in the good air-fuel ratio still. But we could make more power with these ones, so we're gonna definitely decap those in the future. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the light, and I'll show you exactly what we need to do. Okay, so we are gonna start with this front mount right here. So if we go down here, you can kind of see there's a 17 nut here and a 17 on the opposite side. You'll undo those. Then down here there's a 14, and the same on the other side. We just use an extension and break those loose. After this piece is off right here, there's a 14mm bolt right here on the front. We'll take that off. So I'm basically just gonna use the impact, hit those real quick, get that off. One thing to note before doing that is it's best to support the engine with a jack and a piece of 2x4 or something. Just don't jack it up real high, just enough to where the tension is off the mount. Makes it a little easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the tripod up and get started. All right, so we're just gonna start with the top 2 17 nuts. All right, now we're gonna do the 14mm bolts at the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to use this 14 wrench here, and I'm going to use it like this, where I hook on to the other to get more leverage. Okay, so here's the stock mount. This piece literally just fell off. So this thing was definitely done for. And they have hydraulic fluid in them, by the way. You can kind of see it. Anyways, there's also a vacuum line on the bottom here. It goes down there. Mine was broke off on both of my front and rear mounts when I got the car. And the hoses were actually cut this whole time. You can see right here there's a hose and it's cut. That would typically run to that, but on these new mounts we don't have that, so it's not a problem. I just maneuvered it out this way and pulled it out. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same way we pulled it out. And that's it for that one. It's all nice and tightened down, and we can move on to this mount over here. All right, this mount here is actually the easiest one of them all. We've got the power steering reservoir. We just lift that off of its stand, move it out of the way. Then we'll have access to the 17mm bolt here and on the other side, and then these two 14s, and it comes out. All right, now here's this mount. It is definitely shot as well. So this is really gonna help. Just doing these two mounts is gonna help. I can only imagine how bad that back one is. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in. All right, that's it for those two mounts, nice and tightened down. Should be good to go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove this upper strut brace. There's three 12mm nuts on both sides, and then the thing comes out. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll have access to that rear mount down there. All right, once you get it all unbolted, you can slide it towards the driver's side. And then wiggle it through here and get it out. Okay, unlike the front one, which just broke right off, and this one over here, which is just really soft, this one here was starting to break, but it's actually the more solid one out of them all. So we're gonna maneuver this back in there, tighten it all down, and we'll be done with the mounts. All right, it's all back together. I already topped all the coolant off. I basically just jack the front end up real high, fill it up, squeeze them, and keep refilling. And then I'll start it up and burp the system. It's actually really simple. A lot of people think with this hose being up higher like that, it's hard. It's not really at all. But everything's good to go. So we're gonna start it up and see how bad it vibrates. Well, I can feel it in the steering wheel now, and a little bit in the floorboard, but I'm not hearing any panels vibrating. Let's turn the AC on and see if that makes it do it. Nope, it's really not that bad. The real test will be out when we actually take it for a spin and see how it does. But just doing the revs, I only barely feel it in the steering wheel. So we're gonna take it out for a spin. I can't do too much because it's just been raining like crazy, but you can definitely drive it and see how it does. All right, so it does ride pretty good. I'm not really feeling much vibration. I don't hear much vibration. The only vibration I'm hearing is actually from the road, which it did completely stock mounts. It does feel more solid, like the engine's not moving now, so that's definitely good. But it is pointless to get on it because it just wants to spin. But I like it. These mounts definitely made a huge improvement. I'm super happy with it. So that basically concludes the solid mount install. I highly recommend these, especially with the minimal vibration I felt. I definitely recommend these over the red inserts, which are the 60 or 65A. These are the 70s. They are a little stiffer, but that engine doesn't move, and it definitely wants to put the power down directly to the wheels. Even with traction control on or off, it really didn't matter. It just wanted to spin. If I turned traction control off, I was able to actually go while spinning, not even trying very hard. So I'll have to get a proper pool video for you guys once this rain stops. It's been raining for like 3 or 4 days straight. It doesn't seem like it wants to let up, but when it does, I'll definitely try to get you a video of the before and after the tune with it pulling. But since I've removed this clutch, slave cylinder, slow valve delay, it's really actually pretty simple. I didn't do a video of it, I just didn't want to. But there's a lot of how-tos on the internet on how to remove these. Now the car doesn't actually act like it's slipping the clutch between each gear whenever I change gears. So that's pretty nice. And this is how the lower intake manifold with the injectors look on the car. I'm going to be getting a thermal gasket, which will go right here, just like that. And then that upper intake manifold will bolt to the top. That'll lessen the heat soak, which means more power. And then on these, I'm actually going to clean them out, bore them just a little bit. I'm doing a gasket match, basically making the gasket and the holes line up perfectly, and removing some material, making it smoother. So got a lot of stuff I still need to do. And then after we get these injectors here decapped and put in, they should flow around 410 cc's or somewhere close to that. Then we can actually go back and get a retune and make a little more power. The only thing Eric was limited on whenever he was doing the tune was my injectors were basically like right about to max out, and that's a problem. We didn't want to do that, so we called it quits at 301. But if we had more fuel, we could probably make a bit more power, which I was super impressed with 300. That's what I kind of wanted to go in and get, and I got it. I was really impressed with that, especially for 3 PSI on a supercharger. Everyone's like, oh, turbo's better, this and that. You know what? You guys are right. Cool. Turbos are good, but I like this. This is my setup. I love it. You don't have to like it. I understand each person has their own personal preference and taste, and this is mine. I love this car, and I'm just sharing it with you guys and trying to share some knowledge at the same time. I don't know everything. I'm still learning, just like a lot of other people are, and what I do learn, I try to pass on to you guys. So I hope you guys appreciate the work that I've been putting in to share what I do know. So definitely more stuff coming, and the mount install was definitely a success. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Definitely stay tuned to my channel and AGN's YouTube channel. Link is in the description. Go over and subscribe to AGN's YouTube channel if you haven't. We're going to be doing some other stuff on that channel as well. So turn the bell icon on so you get notified of every upload. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here. And as I like to say, God bless, stay safe, stay awesome.